With no warning, their loved one was gone. Their father, their husband, their son, their brother. Just one moment and then they were gone. And Commissioner Bratton has gone on this mission many times to console families. It's newer in my life, but I can tell you it's one of the most difficult elements of the jobs we do is to try and help these families that have suffered so wrongly, to try and help them in that moment and to let them know we will be with them every moment thereafter. Something this city believes in, it's something the NYPD believes in, that these families are now our family, and we will stand by them. They're suffering. They're suffering an unspeakable pain right now. It's impressive when somehow people can put on a brave face. But in the conversations we had, you can tell there's a lot of fear what the future will hold. And we let them know that we would be there for them, that people such as the good people in this room would be there for them, that we would never forget them. We would certainly never forget the sacrifice of Officer Ramos and Officer Liu, who stood for all that is good in this society. And we have to understand the attack on them was an attack on all of us. It was an attack on our democracy. It was an attack on our values. It was an attack on every single New Yorker. And we have to see it as such. There's a lot of pain. It's so hard to make sense of it. How one deeply troubled, violent individual could do this to these good families. And I think it's a time for everyone to take stock that there are things that unite us, there are things that we hold dear together as New Yorkers, as Americans. We all see the world through the prism of our own families. It's time for people to take stock of this moment. Our first obligation is to respect these families in mourning. Our first obligation is to stand by them in every way we can. And I call upon everyone to focus on these families in these next days, which so painfully are also a time that we usually think of as one of the high points of the year, a moment of celebration, a moment of faith, a moment of goodness, that they're so deeply scarred by this tragedy. But in these days, we still have to find that goodness. So I think it's important that regardless of people's viewpoints, that everyone recognize it's a time to step back and just focus on these families.